Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this Rexel webinar with GDHV. We're just going to give it a few minutes before we start to let everyone join. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar with Rexel and GDHV. Just to let you all know, this webinar is recorded and will be available on our platform by Tuesday the latest. You have a Q&A box for any questions that we'll leave to the end. So any questions you may have, just enter them to the Q&A box whenever you're ready. Now passing over to Lee Stones from GDHV.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. So I've put together some information about thermostatic electric showers. The webinar, I think, is actually listed as care showers, and I will be talking about those. They are kind of a form of a thermostatic shower, and I will be talking about the differences between them. So in terms of what I will run through today, I'll be talking about thermostatic versus non-thermostatic showers. I'll talk a little bit about the shower market, the total market actually, and the thermostatic market. And then I'm going to get specifically into the Red Ring, and Red Ring is a brand of GDHV solutions. Talking about the importance of legislation and approvals, endorsements. Talking a little bit specifically about the ranges that we have and the summary, and then the accessories and spares that come along with that. So I thought I'd start first of all just talking about what a thermostatic shower is. Probably the best way of describing it is to start off with what a non-thermostatic shower is and kind of go from there. So a standard non-thermostatic electric shower is a pretty simple device. Water passes over a heating element and that heats the water. The heat from the element is fixed, and there's usually 2 to 3 power levels. And the way it works is the outlet temperature is controlled by varying the flow of water over the heating element, and the temperature of the and therefore the temperature of the incoming supply is therefore altered, and it's generally quite consistent within a season, but between winter and summer can vary from, well, we've kind of put there 2 to 10 degrees, and the reason is obviously in the colder months the outside water temperature is significantly lower. Setting the optimum flow and temperature can be quite fiddly, and especially if another user in the house has got different preferences, then it's a kind of a restart each time, and therefore can be a little bit fiddly. The other big issue, and this is really the main issue and the reason that you may want to have a thermostatic shower, is that if the water pressure drops during the duration of the shower, i.e. a washing machine starts or a toilet is used, then the flow rate will drop and the temperature will go up, which is obviously the way the shower works anyway. The lower the flow, the increase in temperature. And it will return when the cycle is complete, but obviously for that period there can be quite a significant change in the temperature. With a thermostatic shower, the temperature is managed automatically and preset. Inlet water temperature and flow rate is monitored, and the element is regulated by the power and flow controllers to deliver a stable temperature and flow rate regardless of external influences. And I'll talk about this in a little bit in a while, that all red ring thermostatic showers meet these regulations, in particular EN 60335, and include an NXR for the integrity and reliability of the microprocessor controls. So that kind of then comes on to why these devices really are useful in certain applications. There's a little bit here about the market. What I haven't included here is total market, but very roughly, the market is worth about 1 million pieces per year, and very roughly about a value of about 100 million, and that's at manufacturer selling prices. So basically, each one is worth about £100 at value. What we find is that probably 80 to 85% of electric showers are replacement. So it's when one breaks, then typically installers will replace like for like, or certainly a similar type of shower to what's gone before. The thermostatic shower market is about 20% of the total, and it's about 200,000 units per annum. And of that, care showers in particular represent about 125,000 units per annum. So therefore, non-care, straightforward thermostatic showers are about 75,000. Now, we'll come to this in a minute about what the difference is with a care shower to a non-care, and very often they are pretty much the same shower unit. It's really the accessories that make the difference between a care and a non-care shower. And I will talk just a little bit here about the applications. So the thermostatic shower, for the reasons I was just giving about having that real consistency of flow and consistency of the temperature you get out, are a great solution for local authorities and for the care market. Increasingly, local authorities are keen that there is no litigation involved about their tenants being burnt. So they often take a good assurance that having a thermostatic shower will mitigate against that. So although they would have a thermostatic shower, it doesn't necessarily have to be a care one. It doesn't have to have those care accessories. So that is a great solution in the local authority market. However, care showers in particular are increasing, and the reason for that is that more and more government funding is available for the elderly to continue living at home. So very often there is funding available for a homeowner to have an adaptation in their bathroom, which could include a level access floor, and part of that would be a thermostatic shower. And because of the increase in funding and an increasingly elderly population, these sorts of showers are becoming more and more interesting in the electric shower market. So typically we don't see them necessarily going into care homes so much. They would very often be mixer showers, but certainly in somebody's house where they've had an electric shower previously, they do represent a great solution. So that's kind of where they fit in. What I'm going to do now is talk about the GDHV solutions. So GDHV is made up of a number of brands. So we are Glendimplex Heating and Ventilation. Red Ring is one of those brands, and our care shower and our leading thermostatic shower is called the Selectronic. And I'm just going to talk about that and talk about the features that it's got that really make it a suitable shower for these sorts of environments. So the thermostatic shower has got a highly accurate temperature control, plus or minus 0.5 of a degree. That is market leading. So it enables comfortable, safe showering. Typically, other showers in the market are plus or minus 1 degree or even plus or minus 1.5 degrees. So the point I was making earlier about that very little fluctuation in temperature, you can see it's highly accurate at plus or minus 0.5. It's got a market leading suite of approvals, BAB, BAB Care and RNIB, and I'll talk a little bit about those and where they fit in a minute. It comes complete with a 5-year guarantee. The Plus models, which are the ones that are really suitable for care, come complete with a combined riser grab rail, and I'll talk a little bit about that in detail in a minute. But the next few slides are really quite important, or the next few points are quite important. The design is, it comes complete with contoured styling, shower fascia, no hard edges or protruding controls, which obviously for somebody who's certainly struggling for sight or is disabled is a real benefit. It's got a matte anti-glare finish with high contrast controls and a large LED display, digital display for ease of visibility. So that is a real benefit for those with difficulties with sight. It's an all button control and it's got tactile identification coding for ease of use. So you'll see on the picture the plus or minus, so that one is protruding so that the user can actually detect the minus or detect the cross for the plus. The tactileness is a real key for those who are struggling a little bit with maybe arthritis or rheumatism and struggling sometimes to push buttons. Those buttons can actually be sort of pushed in, if you like, with the knuckles or the fist, rather than the difficulty that they can have with an actual button. It's got audible feedback for confirmation of adjustment and operation status. It's basically bleeping. So each time the button is pressed, it will bleep, and therefore the user can count the number of bleeps. It's got phased shutdown safety protection for next user call startup and scale protection. So what that means is after the unit is shut down, sometime afterwards it will flush through, so it will take away any residual hot water, but because it's taking away water from the unit, it mitigates scale build-up within the unit. So it kind of protects the user as well as protecting the shower. It's got a temperature range limiter lock, so between 34 and 40 degrees. So it's got options there rather between those parameters, and it can be unlocked 25 to 46, and that can be then set at installation. So basically, it will come back on at the preset level. So if a user has got a preference at a certain temperature, that can be set, and it will then come back on again at that temperature that is preferred. Eco power and eco water dip switch setting options. So what that happens there is that the unit will close down after 30 minutes of continual use. So if there has been an issue with the user, if they've fallen, for instance, then the unit will close down after that time. So obviously, you know, if the user is in difficulties, that mitigates bathroom flooding issues. It's got data logging for access to user and performance analysis, diagnostic mode. Basically, it's not so much something a user would use, but it's got diagnostics for service. So certainly in local authorities, that's useful for the engineer to be able to determine what the actual fault of the product is. We've got the operating pressures in there, and it's got a single push button rapid commissioning, so the unit can be commissioned and set up very easily by just going through a number of push button procedures. So we've recently launched this new range of the Selectronic, and what we've done is put some improvements in there. It's got improved shower accessories, a stronger stainless steel riser rails, stronger 4-point fixing riser rail wall brackets. The Plus model, which is the one designed specifically for care, has got a combined riser grab rail with reinforced metal brackets. So instead of requiring a separate grab rail within the care, the actual the riser rail will be combined, or is combined, so that it will do both jobs. Essentially, it's a riser rail and acts as a grab rail. It's been tested and approved up to 250 kilogram static load. We also have wireless connectivity models for compatible level access waste pumps. I'll talk a little bit about the detail of that in a minute. In terms of the legislation approvals and endorsements, so it comes with the very latest safety standards. It's basically designed to comply with EN 60335, which is the latest guidance. So it's basically approved to BAB Care compliance, and that is a critical endorsement within the care sector specification. So when care showers are specified, BAB Care is something that the specifiers would expect to see. And it's important to note that just now, not all showers that do call themselves care showers have actually got that level of specification. Because of the latest changes within 60335, the Selectronic is fully approved, but not all manufacturers are just now. It's also got inclusive design to the highest level of RNIB, I think Society for the Blind, and that really comes into some of the things that I was talking about before, where it's got that enhanced tactile button coding, the print legibility, and that control adjustment contrast that I was referring to earlier. So there's a number of things in there that make it very easy and straightforward for a blind or semi-sighted person to be able to use. And within that, the RNIB do take the units and actually approve them model by model. So that one has gone through their complete endorsement. It's RAS approved, so all materials in contact with water are fully approved. Disability Discrimination Act compliant, and as I said earlier, really key point, certainly for local authorities, is that it is comes complete with a 5-year guarantee. T's and C's do apply, and that is basically on registration. So on registration, it will receive that 5-year warranty. So there's basically 3 different parts of the family within Selectronic. We have standard models, and the standard model is the one that I was referring to earlier, which is non-care, if you like. So it's a straightforward local authority shower. It comes in 3 models, 8.5, 9.5 and 10.8 kilowatt. The 8.5 is the most common. It's got a 5-spray mode rub clean shower handset, so you can select 5 different modes. 1.25 meter flexible hose. The riser rail is 540 mil. It's got 4-point fixer riser rail brackets, fully adjustable handset clamp, and it's got a lipped soap dish with a hose retaining ring. So that's the as I say, the kind of non-care standard version. But let me just reiterate again, the shower itself and all of those features I was talking about earlier are the same between the standard and the plus, the care model. So here's a plus model, again in the 3 different kilowatt ratings. The handset is the same, but the differences are around the accessories. So it comes complete with a 2-meter anti-kink flexible shower hose, and that's really there to enable seated showering. That is we've then got the riser rail. So it's a longer 1-meter riser rail, and it is suitable for grab of 250 kilograms. And that comes complete with metal place reinforced fixing riser brackets. It's got a fully adjustable handset clamp and then the lip soap dish, as I was talking about. So all those accessories come complete with the shower. The third range that we have, or third category, if you like, within the range, is waste pump connectivity. So these are used in conjunction with level access drains, pumps. So the purpose of these is to remove water away from the shower area in a level access application, and that means that the floor is dry, so it's kind of taking away risk of slippage. The shower and the accessories are the same as the Plus models, so I won't go into all of the detail there, but it comes complete with an integral PCB circuitry for hardwire signaling to activate compatible waste pumps. It's supplied with an RF receiver module, and that enables talking to these waste pumps. So basically, you'll see that it goes wirelessly over to the receiver, and then it is then hardwired between the receiver and the pump. There's some details there about different pumps that it will connect to, but basically the way these work is that they talk to each other. So if there is a failure in the shower, then the pump sometime afterwards will close down to stop motor burnout. And equally, if there is a failure within the pump, the shower will close down to stop risk of flooding. So the two devices work together, and that's the reason why you'd want them connected. So there's a summary there. If I just kind of go through those again, the 3 showers are the Premier standard. They are the ones with the standard accessories. That's a local authority shower, if you like. The Plus models are the ones with the accessories, the longer hose, the riser grab rail. And then the WPC variants are basically the Plus shower with the accessories, but they can complete with the circuit board to enable linking with these level access showers. So that is a range, 8 showers within the Selectronic range. We have the grab rail accessory kit as a separate SKU. So you can see the things that come in there, the handset, the shower hose, the riser rail, and all of the fixing points, together with the soap dish and the hose retaining ring. So they are the full set of accessories, and we sell that as a separate item. If, for instance, somebody's bought the standard model and then needs to upgrade to the Plus, and everything they need is within that. And obviously important for, certainly for local authorities, is a full range of replacement spares. I'm not going to go through them one by one, but kind of separated there with the internals, if you like, and then the accessories there on the right hand side. We do something called a hospital kit, which is basically something that local authorities often take us up on, where there are some of the key spares that they will all have, and they are kitted out so that engineers can have the kind of the full range of ones that they frequently use. And that was the main bulk of the presentation. So I hope that was useful. If I just kind of recap a couple of the main points before I go into any questions that you guys have. I've described why the thermostatic shower is important and the difference between a non-thermostatic. kind of gone into some of the applications for it and the market, talked about the features of our particular model and why they're important for those different types of applications, and then just talked about the ranges that we have and how they meet the requirements of the particular sectors that we are selling to. So I can take if there's, I'm not sure, Jamala, if there's any questions that have come through.
Hi Lee, no questions at the moment. But if anyone does have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A box. No questions. Is there anything else from you, Lee?
No, I'm done.
Lovely. Thank you so much again, Lee, and thank you for everyone attending this webinar. We'll close now. At the end of the webinar, you'll receive a quick survey, which is just some feedback and just some opinions on what you would like to see next. Hope you all have a lovely Friday. Thank you so much for joining.